you're doing great. Just relax, lay down on your bed and listen to me. Wear out your headphones. Close your eyes and listen to me. Down the rabbit hole, Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? She was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking up the daisies, when suddenly a rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this, but at that time it seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and looked at it, and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and fortunately was it in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In another moment down went Eliza after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for some way, and then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Eliza had not a moment to think about stopping herself before she found herself falling down very, very deep well. Either the well was very deep, or she fell very slowly, for she had plenty of time as she went on to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen the next. First, she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything. Then she looked at the sides of the well and noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures hung upon pegs. She took down a jar from one of the shelves as she passed. It was labeled orange marmalade, but to her great disappointment it was empty. She did not like the drop of the jar for fear of killing somebody underneath, so managed to put it into one of the cupboard, and as she fell past it, well, thought Alice to herself, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they all think me at home. Why, I wouldn't say anything about it, even if I fell off the top of the house, which was very likely true. down, down, down. Would the fall never come to an end? I wonder how many miles I have fallen by this time, she said aloud. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down, I think. For you see, Alice had learned several things of this sort in her lessons in the schoolroom, and thought this was a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as there was no one to listen to her. Still, it was good practice to say it over. Yes, that's about the right distance, but then I wonder what latitude or longitude I have to. Eliza had the slightest idea what latitude was or longitude either, but she thought they were nice and grand words to say. Presently, she began again. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. How funny it'll seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downwards. But I shall have to ask them what the name of the country is. You know, please, ma'am, is this New Zealand or Australia? And she tried to courtesy as she spoke, fancy courtesying as you're falling through the air. Do you think you could manage it? And what an ignorant little girl she will think me for asking. No, it'll never do to ask. Perhaps I shall see it written up somewhere. Down, down, down. There was nothing else to do, so Alice did soon begin taking again. Dinner miss me very much tonight. I should think Tina was the cat. I hope they will remember her saucer of milk. At tea time, Tina, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and that's very like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats? I wonder. And here Alice began to get rather sleepy, and went on saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way, do cat eat bats? Do cat eat bats? And sometimes do cat eat bats? For you, see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't much matter which way she put it. She felt that she was dozing off, and had just begun to dream that she was walking hand in hand with Tina, and saying to her very, now Tina, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat? When suddenly down she came upon a heap of sticks and very dry leaves, and fall over. Alice was not a bit hurt, and she jumped upon to her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark overhead. Before her was another long passage, and White Rabbit was still inside, hurrying down it. There was a moment to be lost. Away went Alice like the wind, and was just in time to hear it as it turned a corner. Oh my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting. She was close behind it when she turned the corner, but the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long, low hall, which was lit up by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. There were doors round the hall, but they were all locked, and when Eliza had begun all the way down one side up the other, trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. Suddenly, she came upon a little three-legged table, all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it but a tiny little golden key, and Alice's first idea was that it might be belong to one of the doors of the hall, but else either the locks were too large or the key was too small. But at any rate, it would not open any of them. However, on the second time round, she came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before, and began it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight it fitted. Alice opened the door and found that it led into a small passage, not much larger than a rat hole. She kneeled down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you ever saw. How she longed to get out of the dark hall and wander among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains, but she could not get her head through the doorway. And even if my head would go through, thought poor Alice, it would be a very little without a use, without my shoulders. Oh, I wish I could shut up like a telescope. I think I could, if I only know how to begin for you to see so many out of the way things that happened lately, that Eliza had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible. There seemed to be no use in waiting by the little door, so she went back to the table, half hoping she might find another key on it, or at any rate a book of the rule for shutting people like a telescope. This time she found a little bottle on it, which certainly was not here before, said Alice, and tied around the neck of the bottle was a little paper with words "Drink me" beautifully printed on it on large letters. I hope you liked my voice. If you do so, please like, share and comment. See you soon in the next video.